Hi, my name is Toby and today I'm going to show you the evolution of my indie game Above Snakes while telling you the story of how I've become a full-time indie game developer over the course of 2 years. I've been working on Above Snakes, a Wild West-inspired survival game in which you create your own world from isometric world pieces for the past 2 years. Now, I have formed my own indie game studio, Squareglade Games. I am working on the game together with Mark, a developer friend of mine, have signed with a publisher, and the game has an active and loyal community. After being 2 years into the journey, I think that this is a good time to show where we are right now, where we have come from, and how much progress the game has made in all of this time. Take a seat, lean back, and enjoy the story of our journey from the first prototype over a couple of demos, the funding process, to the release of the closed alpha and the recent release of the closed beta. The origins of Above Snakes come from the first ever Unity game I made together with a friend of mine back in 2019. We called it Lonesome. Lonesome was a short demo of a Wild Western hack and slay RPG. We liked the idea of having a hack and slay game set in the Wild West because apparently there was, or maybe is, no other game set in that genre. The development of the title took a couple of months, while I handled the programming and marketing and my friend was responsible for the 3D models. For two friends who had no idea how to properly market a game and even less idea how to make it, the game was a surprising success with more than 2,000 downloads on itch.io. After that, life happened. I ended a long-term relationship, had to finish my master's degree, moved and did a couple of other things. At that time, I created a couple of smaller prototypes but didn't treat game development very seriously. Until 2021, the birth of Above Snakes. On New Year's Day of 2021, I gave my back then almost 2-year-old prototype of Lonesome another shot by resurrecting it. Same setting, but on a fresh code base with some fresh concepts and a manageable scope. I got rid of the hack and slay stuff and added a couple of survival mechanics to the game. I also started posting about the game on Twitter pretty frequently. Shortly after, I released a prototype, back then still called Lonesome, and a couple of online news sites posted about it. Even a handful of publishers reached out to me. This was amazing. My childhood dream of becoming a game developer that creates games for a living could finally become true. In March 2021, I signed with a publisher, Crytifo, a US-based indie game publisher with a history of successful crowdfunding campaigns. We developed a plan together to run a Kickstarter campaign in early 2022, build a community, and eventually make the game a reality. We also brainstormed a couple of gameplay concepts and tweaked the mechanics of the game. Most importantly, we managed to make the unique tiles of the game a core game mechanic instead of just an aesthetic aspect. We also rebranded the game to its current name, Above Snakes. We signed up Above Snakes for Steam Next Fest in June 21 and published a demo. To be honest, the demo was an unexpected little hit. I was overwhelmed by the sheer amount of players that played and wishlisted the game. Big creators picked it up and played my game in front of thousands of people. I couldn't be happier. Becoming a game developer is becoming a reality for me. It was also at that time that I began preparing the crowdfunding campaign and slowly stepped back from my day job as a web developer. Luckily, I was able to gradually reduce my work hours and be able to focus more and more on Above Snakes. The rest of the year, I used every minute I had creating a pre-alpha version of the game, which should be ready for the Kickstarter campaign in January. Through Steam Next Fest, I received lots of feedback and took that as a basis for what I had to do for the pre-alpha. I added a base building system, a deeper crafting and item system, added a world map, many new biomes, improved survival mechanics, and tons of other things. On 20th of January 2022, the crowdfunding campaign launched. I have never been so nervous in my life before when I hit the launch button. This campaign should decide my future as a game developer. Would I be able to secure the required funding to focus on my dream game full-time? Luckily, halfway down the campaign, the required amount was secured, and at the end of the campaign, backers contributed more than twice the goal. I was relieved for a short period of time, and then stressed, because this meant that I have to deliver. During the Kickstarter campaign, Mark found me and my project and reached out, asking if I could need some help in development and game design. And oh boy, how could I need some help? We had a couple of chats and decided to continue the project as a team. Right after the campaign, the closed alpha was shipped. About 800 people acquired access via Kickstarter and post-campaign funding. We never had so many people playing our game before. Lots of players also mean a lot of feedback. I don't know what I expected, but the month after the Kickstarter campaign will almost as stressful as the preparation of the campaign itself. But I did it. I have become a full-time game developer. I quit my day job during the campaign and was now able to focus on Above Snakes full-time. With the combined forces of Mark and me working on the project, it grew very fast. We were able to quickly implement new features. The biggest improvements we were able to make were biomes that blend into one another, which created much more believable worlds, and a rich dialogue system that added a lot to world building. The alpha of Above Snakes shipped in May, and the game began to reach its final form. The core features were pretty much implemented, and we just needed to fill the world with life. Adding characters, stories, quests, interesting places, and lots of dialogue. We used 2022's Steam Next Fest to open the closed alpha for everyone. That means that during that week, everybody was able to play the game for free. I thought that the previous Steam Next Fest was a success. This one absolutely blew me away. Over the course of 1 week, more than 25,000 players played the game, with more than 500 at the same time. Lots of content creators picked up the game, where the biggest stream had more than 18,000 concurrent viewers. This Steam Next Fest was a gigantic boost for our wishlist and also for the growth of our community. We closed the alpha again and worked hard to release the beta this winter. The beta should contain about 80% of the total contents of the game. We promised backers to release in early 2023, and we had to work a lot to make that happen. Recently, on the 16th of December, right before Christmas, the closed beta of Above Snakes launched. Our journey so far has been long and the road was stony. Never in my life have I worked this hard as I did to make this dream of mine come true. We still have a long road ahead of us until release, but I'm sure that we will make it. In such a crowded space as the indie game market, it is hard to find your place and even harder to make a living out of it. I hope that my story and the evolution of my game Above Snakes were of interest to you, and that maybe you were even able to take away something for your own journey. Let me know in the comments below how long you've been following me or my game, or did you just discover it today? Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see more of the latest features of Above Snakes in greater detail, click on this devlog over here. See you there!